with 3-point perspective, we got to put our vanishing points in, right, to get started. So where are our vanishing points going to be? Since we're going to do a bird's eye view, we got to put them on the top and bottom for 3-point perspective. It's more dramatic than 2 points. So give yourself approximately a 1/2 inch from the top, 1/2 inch from the top, and I want you to label VP number 1 and VP number 2. Go ahead and follow along with me here. VP number 2. And then on the very bottom, we'll just do it in the middle. We're gonna do VP3. All right, VP3 is gonna be down here in the middle. Now, before we get started, what I will want to do is create a tower. It's actually going to be a building, and then on the building, we're going to have different features like a little archway or a tunnel, and also maybe some bricks in 3-point perspective, and have a little simple staircase. Okay, so what we're going to do is always start with the nearest part of the object, which is going to be right in the middle here. I want you to line up your rulers here to vanishing point 3 at the very bottom. And I want you to draw a line that goes up to about right here. It's about 3 inches down from the bottom, from the top, I mean. So you got to give yourself a little bit of space up here. Try not to draw this line too close to the top, okay? Give yourself at least about 1/2 a pencil or so down from the bottom, okay? Give yourself a little space. And what we can do is put a dot there, just so I'll put a little dot right here, just so we can see that's where the corner is going to be. And then I also want you to give yourself maybe about 1 inch or so at the bottom, 1 inch or 2, and give yourself a little dot right there. Put a little dot on the bottom. So we're going to just make a little tower, kind of a building, and go ahead and line up vanishing point 1 right here, so you can see. And you're going to go like this to the side, all right? Almost all the way to the side, not quite. And then do the same thing. We want to make this fairly wide, okay? And it should look like a V. If you don't have enough space on the bottom, you can quickly lower that down just to give yourself a little bit of breathing room. Okay. We're going to do next is we're going to try to see if we can form the top of the box. And so all you'd have to do, actually let's do the sides first, actually. Let's do right about here, draw a line back to the vanishing point number 3, all the way here at the bottom, making sure it goes to vanishing point 3. Kind of has that ice cream cone shape because it's in 3-point perspective, and that's what we want, kind of that triangle type of shape, and it's going to go this way like this, okay? So go ahead and line up your ruler there. And then what I'm going to do is from right here at the bottom, I have a little dot right there. I'm going to line it again up to vanishing point 2 to form the side. This is just one giant building here, like this, okay? And then I'm going to go over here to vanishing point number 2 over here. And actually, I think I'm going to go a little bit down, further down, because I want it to appear like it's going a little bit lower. So it's fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just trying to, something like that. That's probably good enough. I don't get too picky. So right about here will be the side of the building. And then go back to your vanishing point 2. Just maybe 1 inch of space or so at the bottom, okay? And wherever it hits, it's gonna hit right there. And you can erase the receding line, so that's the side of the structure. Now, to get started here, we also have to make a top part, okay? So the top part, same thing. You're just gonna line it back up. Now, we can put our horizon line in if you want. You can connect your vanishing points. So we can see here's the eye level. The eye level is way up here. And we're gonna go ahead and connect, going back this way. back to VP2, and then wherever it crosses, it's gonna be the back of the building. I'm gonna put a little arrow right here so you can see the back of it right there, okay? Now it can look on the video sometimes like it's a straight line across, but you definitely don't wanna do the straight line. You wanna have, because it actually is an angle, right? It's actually angled this way and that way. So we got that part, and then we're gonna give it just a tiny bit of dimension here. So all we're gonna do is where the corner is, here's the arrow, make a line going back to vanishing point 3, just a little bit, half an inch or so, going back to vanishing point 3. And then we're just gonna go and basically draw like a little border type of thing. And then just to show it has a little bit of depth in there. So just go like this, back to here, back to vanishing point 1, and then over here back to vanishing point 2. Okay, making sure every line that you draw goes to one vanishing point or the other, okay? So it just has a little bit of depth right there. Now, to get started here, what we're gonna need to do is put a couple things. We're gonna eventually have a little staircase and also kind of a little area here where we can have like a tunnel. So what I want you to do is making sure it's below the horizon line. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit here so we can see like this. Is we're gonna start off by just making sure that we have our ruler headed to the vanishing point. Now watch this, it's headed, I zoom out, you can see, it's headed back here. All the vertical lines are going back to my vanishing point 3. And what I have to do is I have to make sure that I draw a little area. It's gonna be like, kind of like the letter C, but almost, actually I should say the letter U, but upside down. So we're gonna draw one line that goes down like this to the vanishing point. I'm gonna zoom in so we can see it a little bit more. And then what I'm gonna have to do is also another line that's headed to the vanishing point, just like this, okay? And then over here on the right side, it's basically going to be like a little gate that you go through. And right over here, making sure that these vertical lines head to the vanishing point. Now, what we're gonna do, actually let's do 3 lines. This is the best way to do it. Let's do 3 lines here. So we're gonna start with the bottom headed to the vanishing point. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Actually, not 3 lines, 2 lines, excuse me. 2 lines, two vertical lines, and then this bottom corner is gonna head to the vanishing point like that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over like this to the vanishing point. And we're gonna make like this little structure, and then this part will go back here and here to my vanishing point. Once I color it in, you'll understand it. Let me just, and once we shade it in. Okay, so it's gonna look like this, and then the bottom here is gonna be also headed to the vanishing point in line with the other one. So if I go dot, 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 like this, we're gonna bring this down, just like this. Okay, okay, so it's just a little structure. Everything is angled in, and what I'll do is actually I'm just gonna shade this front part in so we can see it a little clearer. Kind of looks like the letter U upside down or something. Okay, just like this. Now we're gonna make this 3D. It's gonna be a little kind of a gate area for our stairs. Okay, so if I zoom out, both sides are gonna head to vanishing point 3 like this. Both sides, okay, it's just going in. It's going into vanishing point 3 just like that. Okay. So the bottoms are going. Now to make it 3-dimensional, make a little mark at this corner, and we're gonna go in towards vanishing point 2 right here. And then I'm gonna draw a line connecting from the bottom vanishing point up. And I'm gonna shade that part in with orange so we can see right here. That's gonna be orange. Okay, that edge. And that edge, if I were to draw a receding line, you can see it could eventually end up in vanishing point 2, right? Then do the same thing over here and make a little a little edge like this. This goes back. And you also have to make the top going back. And then this part. Now we won't see too much of the top just because it's right near the horizon line, but we will see a little bit of it. And I'll use a colored pencil so we can see. And I'm just going to line it up like this. Erase this part. And color this in orange. Right here like this. Okay. Boom. All right. And then we just got to make the top part just to make it like an interesting feature. So I'm going to connect this corner to here. And let's use a different color. This one, I probably should have moved it down just a little bit because it's hard to see. But on the top, it's a little sliver. I'm going to do it in yellow. Just a little sliver there where you can see it, okay? You won't see much, it's just the top of it. All right? If I moved it down, obviously you'd see a lot more. So they have this little feature right there. Now what we want to do is have a staircase that kind of leads to that little feature right there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our staircase and we're going to slope it towards that little feature right there, okay? So here's what we need to do. We need to take an angle that is probably, about a little bit more than 45 degrees. It's a decent angle, okay? You don't want to make it too flat like this because it's going to be leading up to this kind of staircase. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to take it right about where the corner, okay, where the corner of this building might be, or this little entrance, and I'm going to just draw a line that goes down from the corner. So you can see the corner, I put in green right here, this corner. I'm gonna draw a line that's angled down, sloping down like this. So I'm gonna draw, let's go ahead and draw an angle that's not too steep. You don't want it straight up, but at the same time, you don't want it straight down. So it would probably be, let's call it like this. And I'm gonna go just like, let's go straight down. All right, and then you go straight down. And I'm gonna move it over a little bit. It should be about the width of a pencil, okay? So from wherever that corner of your building is, draw your line at an angle, wherever that corner of the front of the building, and about the width of the pencil or so. You don't wanna go too wide, it'll be too few stairs. About the width of the pencil, I'm gonna have another line that's parallel to that, going like this, okay? Two lines that are going like this. All right, so then we're gonna go down like this, and then I'm gonna have you, once you draw the two parallel lines, okay, we are gonna, eventually it's gonna make it look like it's going off the paper with the staircase. But for now, just to get started, we can do the other part in a little bit. I want you to line up your ruler back to vanishing point 3 and go like this. Connect that line to vanishing point 3 right here. There's vanishing point 3 down here, and I want you to connect your ruler back to vanishing point 3. I'll give you just a minute to do that. Okay, see how it's going back here to vanishing point 3. Now, this is the part of the stairs where normally if it was in 2-point perspective, it would be perpendicular line, sloping side, vanishing point, perpendicular line, sloping side, vanishing point. So because we're using 3-point perspective, it's gonna go back to the third vanishing point. So go ahead right now and draw that part, and then I want you to put a dot. I'm gonna put an arrow, put an arrow right here where that is, making sure that it's going back to the line down here, or the dot down here, the third vanishing point. Now, we have our slope angle, things to check, making sure that it's about the width of a pencil approximately. And then we're gonna, just like we had, if you had practiced in 2-point, I want you to line up your ruler now from that dot, from that corner, back to vanishing point 2. Okay, back to vanishing point 2. And what we're gonna do is draw the line until it hits that part, that little, those two parallel lines. Now, if we were to keep going, it would look like this. I'm gonna do a dashed line just to show you that it would end up eventually at the vanishing point number 2. Let me use a different color for the next dot, and I'll use red just so it stands out. So I'm gonna use green and red. So right here, now, put another dot. See how it's going back to the vanishing point 2. Now, we're not gonna do a straight line up. We have to line it up now to vanishing point 3. Do you see how my ruler is going to vanishing point 3 like this? And I'm gonna draw a vertical line in 3-point perspective going back to vanishing point 3. Okay, just inside of those two parallel lines. And then I'm gonna put a green dot now so I can see where it would be. Okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and, because it's sloping to the right side, I'm gonna go like this, sloping to the right side vanishing point, and then I'm gonna draw the vertical line here. I'm gonna go a little faster just because we probably have the hang of it. Okay, and I'll keep putting little dots here, just so we can see, and then we could go sloping side vanishing point right here, and then I'm gonna put a dot, and then put my vertical line going to vanishing point 3. Okay, vertical line, and it's gonna go right here, like that. Okay, and put a little dot. If you've done 2-point perspective stairs, this is a very easy transition. All it is the third vanishing point is angled instead of straight up and down. Okay, then we just go like this. A little red dot. Okay, so it's like kind of going back and forth inside of there. And then right here, and I'll just do a couple more so it ends near the top. Vanishing point number 3 down there. And sloping side vanishing point, just like this. Okay? And let's see, let's call it, I think that's good for right now. I'll see in a minute if I need to add more, but I'll just want it to end somewhere near, up there near the top, okay? So now that we have these two parallel lines, we have the lines either going to the third vanishing point or the sloping side vanishing point, we have to go back and connect all of those little dots that we made inside of there, okay? If I zoom in a little bit here, we're gonna connect those back to our vanishing points on the other side. So all I have to do, I can start here on the top and work my way down. So right here on the top, I'm gonna draw a line going this way, this direction, right? Back to vanishing point 1. And here's the neat thing, I can keep my finger right here on the vanishing point 1, and I can just pivot the ruler almost like it was the second hand on a clock moving this way, right? And it goes a little quicker. So I just go like this, line it back up to vanishing point number 1. I'll just go a little wider because we can decide how wide we want it to be. Then I go down like this to the red dot that I did, okay? Then I go over here, and I just keep going down all the way like this until I get to the bottom. So just keep my finger right here, and I just move it down this way, okay? Just move it down this way like this. Sometimes some of the stairs you won't see quite as much, that's okay. And then like this one is an awkward view, so we won't really see too much of it. And you just draw all the lines that you see back like this and right here. Okay, now you want to, once you do that, you want to figure out how wide you want to make the staircase, and I'm going to make it right about here. Okay, I'm going to put a little arrow where I'm going to start the, maybe I'll go a little wider actually, right about here where I'm going to start the staircase. Now, since before I went back to vanishing point 2, I'm going to line it up. Let me make sure my receding line's long enough. I have to make this one a little bit longer. And I can erase this part of the building. This is the corner of the building here. And I line it back up to my vanishing point number 2 right there. And then go the same direction as before, right here. And I'm just gonna color part of this in just to give it where we can start to see it here. So I'm gonna color this in yellow as we go, just like that. That's gonna be the top of the stairs. Now, the next part, remember we went back to the vanishing point number 3. So all I have to do is take the next corner, go back to vanishing point 3. I'm just doing exactly what I did before, right there. And in this case, I'm gonna do, let's see, I'll do, how about I do, just shade it with green right here. Okay, so I'm gonna do green. You can see, that's really the front part right there. And we're starting to form the stairs in 3-point perspective. And now, what do I have to do next? Right where that little dot is, I just go simply back to vanishing point 2 until it hits the receding line, like this. Gonna hit this receding line. I can keep my, watch this, I keep my pencil right there, and I can just slide the ruler to the part, and I go like this, and watch this, I can keep my pencil again, the point of my pencil, and I can slide, this is how you go a little quicker, and I can slide it right there. I keep my pencil there, and I slide it down, I go like this. That way I don't have to remeasure it every time. You see that? And I keep my pencil, and I go here. Now, there are some lines you want to make sure you don't get confused. This is the side of the building, so I'm going to erase this one. And I'm going to color it in a little bit as I go, just so it makes it more visible. You can do the same either with colored pencil, or you can do dark, medium, and light with your shading pencils. Okay, just like this. I'm going to color this staircase in here like that. All right, so it's a very simple switch from 2-point, if you understand that, just using the 3rd vanishing point for that vertical line. All right, and then this is going to be the other part. We'll just do a few more. We don't have to do it forever. We're just trying to get the idea. Okay, so I mean, you could, in a sense, stop it right there if you want. Just have, you know, a few stairs. You can keep going down further if you want, but that's basically just a good way you can see how to do that. And you could go up higher or down lower depending on how you want to do it. So at least have 4 stairs, I would say, 4 or 5 stairs, and then that should be good enough. Now, real quick, I want to do, I might come back to the stairs later, but I wanted to get started on something else. The first thing is I want to shade in just a little bit back here. This was kind of like a little edge that we had put in, just so I can kind of see the back part of this wall right here. I'm going to shade that part in. And then what I want to do is just imagine if this was made of stone or bricks or something, how would we do that in 3-point perspective? Well, here's side A on this left, and then we have side B right here on the right. So if I go back to, let's try side B right here. We're going to put in some bricks on this side B. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take some sort of measurement device. It could be a ruler. It could just be a piece of paper where you mark the side of the paper so you know the distance. And I want you to have, I want you to put some marks on the side, and then as it gets closer to the bottom, just make those marks just a little bit closer together. So we'll start with a big one right here. So go ahead, and right here where this arrow is, I'm gonna put another arrow right here, okay? Right here, put a mark, okay? Just a mark, and if you look, say mine's like about 3/4 of an inch or something like that. Now we'll just eyeball it today. If I put the next mark, it should be at least the same size or smaller. And then I'm gonna go a little bit smaller as it gets closer down to the bottom. So I'm gonna have the spacing is gonna get a little closer together. Down here, it's almost, the distance gets more close together. So if that's 3/4 of an inch down here, it's probably only 1/4 of an inch down there. Why did I want to make those marks? What I'm going to do is line those marks back up to vanishing point 2. And I'm going to go like this. And then what I want to do is I want to pivot, okay, from vanishing point 2, and I just go like this and draw a line. And then I'm going to keep my finger here and just move it like this. See, if I pre-mark it, it's so much easier. And the reason why I want the space to be closer together towards the bottom is the illusion of perspective, because it's going to be further away from you. Since this is a bird's eye, pretend like you're a bird flying around up here. Whatever's near the top is going to be closer to you. So we're going to have the illusion that things are further away. So you want to have some lines like this going back to your vanishing point number 2. Okay? Just like this. And I'm going to put a bunch of them in there. And what I want to show you is the difference between 2-point perspective and 3-point if we're going to make some bricks. And basically it's just going to be the lines that are vertical are going to be going to the 3rd vanishing point. That's the only difference, right? Very simple transition, very simple switch. And down here they're so close together you can hardly kind of see what's going on, and that's okay. You could think if you had railroad tracks going off in the distance and they're really close together. Okay, so already that gives it a little bit of perspective, doesn't it? Because it's bigger up here and smaller down here. Now what I want to do, and actually these are going to be consistent for the whole thing. If I mark, I'm going to mark distances, and let's keep it consistent. So at the top here, mine happens to be exactly 4.5 inches. So if I do a 1/2 inch, and I just mark it every 1/2 inch, like this, every 1/2 inch, then I go all the way across, just like that. To start, okay, I just marked the similar distance at the top. Remember, going down it was a little bit smaller because of the perspective. All I have to do is line up my ruler to vanishing point 3 down here, and I can draw some lines. Now look at how bricks are, right? This is going to vanishing point 3. I'm going to start like this, okay? And then I'm going to skip a line and then do another one. Watch, this is all you have to do. Start like this, you skip a line, I skipped a line and I do another one. And then I skip a line and do another one, I skip a line and I just go all the way down. I just skip a line, skip a row. Down here it's hard to see. I'm pretty sure it's like that, okay? So look, I marked it and I skipped it. Now what I'm gonna do though, is when I go to this next one, see how I skipped it? When I go to the next one, I'll draw on this side so we can see. I lined it up to vanishing point 3, and then I do the one in the middle that I didn't do before because the bricks are offset. And then I skip one and do this. Watch. And I skip one and do this. Skip one and do this. Boom. Boom. And down here it is very difficult to see, but I will just go like that. Okay? And then I'm going to go back here again. Okay? And then I'm going to line it up to vanishing point 3 on the bottom. Make sure you guys line it up to vanishing point 3 for the vertical line. And then I'm going to draw this one and then skip one. And then skip one. Do you see that? And basically it's really easy to draw stones or bricks. So we can imagine this is a brick tower. Something like that. And then you just go like this. Okay? You see what I'm doing? I'm making it 3D that way. So I go here and I go every other one. So if I was gonna color in, let me say, actually I won't color it in yet. Let me just keep going here. So then, but you could color it in if you wanna see. And then here, I'm pretty sure I measured correctly. Yeah, I measured correctly. So I'm gonna go here, mark right here, line it up to vanishing point 3, and I'm going to skip a whole row and then do this one. Boom. Skip a row. So see if you can put the bricks in perspective. Every line of the bricks is going to be going to one of the 3 vanishing points here. Like this. And then this one. And like this. Okay? you see where I'm going with this? I want you to do it. So let me zoom out so I can show you. Like this is a tower, a brick tower. And so down below here, here's my vanishing point 3 where I'm pointing. I just take my ruler, I go like this, I line it up to every other one, and then I'm just gonna go like this and then draw that part right here like this. It goes down here, skip a whole row, boom, skip a whole row, like that, and like that. This is helping you guys with the perspective, all these little exercises and stuff. We're learning how to draw it well, okay, and like that. Boom, then I just go to the next one. I can just pivot, you know, to be honest, I can have an anchor the whole time down here. I never have to move the whole time. I never have to move it. I just go like that the whole time. So then I just go to the next one right here. And I've already pre-measured it. I don't have to think. I can just go like this and then skip one. See, I skip it like this, making sure, because with bricks it has kind of a, I skip one because of the bricks, it has kind of a rectangle type of look. Okay, like this, and then skip that one, and skip that. All right, we're almost done. I just have a few more to go. Line this one up right there, and now I'm going to do this part here. Boom, like that, and skip it, skip it. Skip it like that. Boom. Okay. All right, so that's the illusion. I got one more to go. See if you can get all of the in there. And right here, got the illusion of death. Not really going back, but we're just making it look like it. All right, and then skip one. This. Like that. Okay. All right, let's try to shade in these bricks now that we have them all complete here. So what I want to do is use the side of my pencil. Any pencil is fine, just like this. And what I want to do is use the side of my pencil starting dark on one side, okay, and then slowly lifting up the pressure so it's lighter when it gets to the other side. So I'm going to start here, it's a little darker. Now if you want to switch it so it goes light to dark, or you can even have it on the bottom, it's darker, however you want it, but I think I'm going to zoom in here so we can see a little bit. I think it's important that each different brick or stone is separate, okay? So what I'm doing is just kind of making sure that where each one starts, there's an implied line. It's a line created with the value here, but we want to shade in all of the bricks however you want to do it. But let's go ahead and use the side of the pencil. Again, if you want to switch it where it's lighter on the left side going to dark, that's fine too. And I think this is a good effective way to do that. And you want to use the side of your pencil again so it's kind of flat when you're shading it in. Now you can see how they're offset. The center line here is in the middle of the next one, so we don't want those to blend together too much. So that's why if we start darker again, let me show you here. First I'm going to do this one. So it's darker right at the left edge, and I'm just kind of lifting up like that. But if I start darker right here, okay, then it's going to separate from, this brick will separate from the other one. So that way we can see the difference. So I'm kind of putting more pressure, blending like this, and then I'm going to slowly lift up my pencil, and we can see a difference there. But we want to see if we can get all of the bricks shaded all the way down to the bottom. And we might also put some bricks on the side here. So let's try it. Let's use the side of our pencil. just like this. Now, if you find when you're shading, it's kind of going over the line a little bit, one trick that you can do is you can use your ruler and you can place the ruler on the top edge like this, or the bottom edge, whichever one you want. And then when I'm shading, okay, it doesn't go above that line that I'm using for the ruler, and it really helps it to stay a little neater. You see how I did that there? So if you're having a hard time keeping, you know, when you're shading, it seems like it's kind of getting messy a little bit, then you can do that, okay? You can also, if it's hard to see, you're welcome, you don't have to, but if you wanted to create an edge around, you could also outline here, just kind of go over it again, just so that line is more easily visible. You can kind of go like this and put a little outline there. That way you can see it a little bit better. So it's up to you if you want to create more of an implied line, or if you want to create an actual line where you, but again, we want to vary it. So now this one, it would be the same thing. It would be lighter here and a little bit darker on this side. You can also put your ruler on the bottom like this. That way, when you shade, it doesn't go all the way to the bottom edge, and it helps it to stay a little neater. And you just go like this. Okay, and you can see now it's easily visible with all the bricks. So we want to continue to do that all the way down to the bottom here, just like so. All right, and so let's see, let's do another one here. So a little darker. I'm going to put my ruler up on the top or the bottom. I guess I'll do the bottom edge here just to start, and then I'm going to shade it in just like this. A little bit darker, and then it slowly fades to lighter. All right, and again, you can do that, or you can just take your time and just really make sure you don't go over that line. If you want to put in a darker line again, you can, just to make sure that you have all of the bricks there. And I'll try it here, just for fun. I'll put a darker line in there. All right, and just go from one to the other. So let's try to shade it in with some sort of a pattern. I'm using the pattern of dark on the left, going to lighter on the right. You might want to do the opposite, however you want to do it. I'll put this line in here so you can see it there. All right, so got to have the line, and sometimes some of the lines get a little bit blurred. So remember, when we made the bricks, we made it so it was staggered every other one. Okay, and let me do another row here. So again, darker on this part, using the side of the pencil, lifting up a little bit, and I'll zoom in a little bit more so we can see. Just repeat that pattern. Just like this. I'm going to outline again on the bottom here. So again, to make these bricks, we made even spaces here at the top, and then we drew a line all the way down to our vanishing point. And then what we did is we just made every other one. So we drew a line on every other space just to make it look like it's offset. Now I'm on to the next row. right here. So you can, again, you can go sideways if you want. You can shade this way, going from left to right. Some people like to do that. That's an easy way to do it too. Or you can just do it vertical. However you want to do it, you just have to be consistent so there's a nice pattern there. Just use the side of that pencil. It's just slowly blending. And then if you need to darken a line or two in, you can, so we can see it. Now when you get closer to the bottom, it might be a little bit more blurry. It might be a little harder to see. That's fine, because that's the illusion of the depth there with the perspective. But you still want to try, if you can, try to still keep it the same pattern. Right. Dark on the left, lighter on the right, and I'm keeping some of the bricks a little bit white just so it really shows up against that background. If you shade the whole thing in with the same color, it won't really look as good, so you want to vary it. We're going to see if we can complete this, go all the way down to the bottom here. If you have a mechanical pencil, although you can do it, it gets a little tricky. Sometimes the graphite will break a little bit. It's better if you have a regular art pencil using the side of that pencil. That's gonna work a little bit more for this one. Work a little better for this one. Okay, so almost done at the bottom. Now they're getting very hard to see, so we're gonna really have to take our time with this pattern here, making sure that we don't go over the edge of the lines. All right, so we want to shade the whole thing in here. And then what we're going to do in just a moment after I get to the bottom of this one is finish the other side and also finish the stairs. And sometimes I like to shade a tiny bit lighter towards the bottom. The reason why is because it's far away, it adds to the illusion. So you can see down here, I'm not really pressing as hard. Up here near the top, you might want to use your slightly darker pencil. Okay, so if it's not exactly perfect, don't worry. You just want to get most of those colored in if you can. And I'll just kind of, it's starting to get a little bit hard to see down there. That's okay. We'll just kind of leave it like that temporarily. Then what I want to do is I want to do the other side. And so what I'm going to do is line up my pencil here to my vanishing point, and I'm going to continue this line over here all the way to, I'm going to stop where the stairs are right here, and I'm just going to move the ruler. I'm going to pivot it like this and try if I can to go on this side like that. I'm going to move the ruler just like this, move the ruler like this, so you can keep your finger the whole time right there, just like that. And it gets a little bit hard to see, but that's okay. Over here, it's again adding to that illusion of depth that we have, going back. And you want to start exactly where that other brick was, right here. Draw those lines. They're getting very small right over here. Okay, and then what we can do is just put a line. I'm going to kind of measure the same thing. I think I did a 1/2 of an inch the last time, so I'm going to make a little mark every 1/2 an inch or so right here and here. And then I can just aim it to vanishing point 3, and then remember every other line. So I'm just alternating right here. This one, this one, this one, and this one. And then I'm going to take my ruler and pivot just a little bit. I'm making sure not to overlap anything, like where the stairs are. And then I do this one here. Just like that. Then I'm gonna look to where I made the mark right there and make sure that I keep skipping one, every other one. There we go. Yeah, and I'll just do this last couple here. And some of them are not visible, which is okay. Like that. And then this one here. I'll put one here. All right, now we're gonna also shade in these bricks here. So you wanna do that. You wanna do the same pattern here. You see how this one was a little bit lighter, so I'm gonna alternate it again. Now, once you finish coloring all of the bricks like we did, then you also wanna finish the staircase. Now I'm gonna extend the staircase down, okay? Now I want you to notice we've been doing the pattern here where it's the same thing. It's going to the vanishing point number 2 right here, and then it goes to the slope to the vanishing point 3 down here. Now take a look. It's not visible right here anymore. So how do we know where to continue the stairs? Sometimes if it's over to the left, what we can do is we can take these corners like this, and I'm going to draw a little line here and here where all these corners are, and this will give me a clue. This will give me a clue as to where to do the next stairs. So I can see here that since this corner goes on this line, that means for this next one, I'm going to have to look where the line is and then line it up back to my vanishing point 2, just like this. It's because it's hidden. It's because the way the angle is. And so then I can just kind of follow that pattern, and I can see this one right here also, it should start right here. So you can just, once you do a few of them, then you can just continue the pattern. And then if I were to continue this down this way, let's see here, so it looks like it's going off the page. This would be sloping side vanishing point, right? And then the same thing, we're gonna have going back to the vanishing point number 3. Okay, so it would be something like that. So let's have some more stairs. I'm gonna put some more stairs in here. I'm gonna color it in yellow just the same way. And I'll darken this, just like so. but I think you should have, let's say, at least 4 or 5 stairs. Okay, if you want to make it go off the paper, you can, or you can just kind of keep it close like that. This one, you could have it here like so. Okay, and then we're going to keep shading in all of the bricks. Okay, so we want to have this fully finished. I think on the top here, I'm going to pick a color just to have the top part also colored in. So maybe I'll also use yellow again, just because that would make sense, just to have the top part yellow. So I'm going to do the top of this little structure here colored in yellow. All right, so you can mix colored pencils if you want with the regular shading pencils. But for the bricks, I want you to try the shading pencils, the black and white for the bricks, not colored pencil for the bricks. I think it shows up a little better. So we're almost done. At least I'm almost done. And then if you see right here that you need to, let's see, I'm gonna alternate it, light to dark. So I'm gonna go dark this way, light here, dark this way, light. But if you see you need to outline a couple of the bricks just to make them show up a little better, you can always do that. I can see down here near the bottom, it's getting a little hard to see, so I might do that. But I'm just alternating, going dark to light, dark to light. Okay, I'm gonna go continue that, going all the way on the other side, just like so. So here, also light to dark, light to dark. And again, as it gets real close to the bottom there, it's gonna be kind of hard to see, so I purposely just make it sometimes just a little bit blurry, a little bit fuzzy because it's far away. That's the atmosphere perspective part. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I've, for the most part, followed the same logic for the whole thing. And just go ahead, make sure, double check, make sure you got all the areas in there filled in. We want to have bricks on both sides, and then you want to bricks on both sides, and then you want to color in the stairs, maybe the top of the stairs, and then just go back, look, and make sure that you got most of the details, and you'll be good.